Hi everyone, welcome to tonight's show with Jimmy Fallon. Today we have a very special guest, the member of a theater group that has held workshops all around the world, from Shanghai to Sao Paulo, from Newbury to New York. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to Shreyans Sethi from the group Theater O.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. It's an honor to be on your show.
We have a lot of newcomers in the audience, and not all of them are familiar with theater, so could you tell us a little about your group?
Well, Jimmy, what Theater O is centered around is to create work that is inspiring and challenging for both ourselves and the audience. You'll find that a lot of the work we do will take concepts and situations from the world, but we present them in unexpected ways. We often use issues and dilemmas that ordinary people experience in their everyday life, but put them in extraordinary situations. In fact, we often like to use humor and playfulness to show stories that can be sorrow, dark, and bleak. Jimmy!
Wow, that sounds really interesting. Could you tell us a little more about what sets you apart from other theater groups?
Well, we like to focus a lot on the essential components of human relationships and behaviors. We also like to create very imaginative and strong theatrical scenarios in which our stories take place. And sometimes we'll use unexpected language to help us show these stories. When an audience comes to see our plays, they don't just sit back and relax. We like creating a relationship with them that is interacting and keeping them engaged with what's happening. Jimmy, it's your question.
Okay, cool. Now, I understand that Joseph, Alfred, and Carolina Valdez are the heads of your theater group. But can you tell us a little bit more about the structure?
Yeah, you're quite right. They are the heads, and in many of our plays, they will be in charge of directing and devising. Besides that, we have a lot of other roles. Assistant directors, choreographers, costume supervisors, designers for costume, lighting, sound, set, performers, producers, writers, and many others. Obviously, it depends on the size of the play, but we usually have 20 people involved with each one. However, the way we work is that everyone's roles overlap. We're all open to taking feedback from each other, but of course, everyone has their primary responsibility. And Joseph and Carolina always try to keep us engaged in the process. Are you playing on your show? Jimmy.
Yep. Sounds great. What exactly is the goal of Theater O?
Well, we always strive to take risks, to explore the unknown and expand our horizons as theater makers, and to create work that becomes complete in the imagination of the audience. We also love creating works that can only make sense in theater and could not exist in any other medium. That is because the energy, the engagement, the combination of skills and personalities is very important in this whole process. And that is what allows us to make, in the words of the New York Times, vivid and enlightening, inventive and compelling theater.
Tell us about some current projects in Theater O and how you get these ideas and make them into a reality.
Two of the projects we're working on are Sheriff and Radio. In the former, we're exploring the themes of motherhood and what lengths one is prepared to go to for their child. The way we get these ideas is that we're often inspired by real-life events, as I explained earlier. For example, for this play, we were inspired by the current situation in Mexico, where in numerous lawless towns, women with babies... Jimmy.
Yeah, keep going.
Where in numerous lawless towns in Mexico, women with babies or small children will take on the role of the chief of police and risk their own lives to create a safe future for their children.
Okay.
We are also exploring questions such as, what does it mean to exist on a domestic level when everything around you is being torn apart?
Alright, bye.
The second play, Radio, is still in very early stages of development, and it is an immersive narrative experience. The radio is a large white box that can hold 10 children and 1 or 2 adults. Inside the box, there are cushions to sit on, to lie on. The lighting is very low. When the radio is turned on, there's an image of a room, maybe a kitchen or a bedroom, and it's projected on the walls around us. Then we gradually move into the world of the radio. So originally, we see characters around us, but they start to fade, and soon we're just left with a sound. The way we go about turning all these ideas into reality is, first of all, we have to understand the emotions and concepts we're exploring. And then we find a team, we find a cast, and we make it into a real production. Then we start rehearsals and all.
Tell us a little about the rehearsal process.
Well, all of Theater O's work is based on the contribution and participation of the ensemble. In order for this to be effective, the performers must have an acute awareness of the tools at their disposal: their body, their voice, and most importantly, their imagination. Therefore, we try to play around a lot with these things when preparing for a play, and our activities are centered around this. The actor really has to know how to use these things to enhance their performance. This also involves a much more in-depth investigation of the creative process and the development of the actor as a creator. By taking simple stories based on the experiences of the participants themselves, we take the essential elements and interpret these narratives in an exciting, imaginative, and theatrical way.
I've heard that Theatre O will never have two shows with the same cast. Is that true?
Well, you see, Theatre O is all about challenging their actors, and this involves pushing the boundaries of comfort. As I said before, we take usual stories and poetic characters and put them in an extraordinary situation. The actors work a lot with physical theater and with concepts such as a hero and a victim in the stories. The trust between the actors is an important aspect, and it is true that when in our plays, we will have various actors and different casts, and building a trust with someone can be quite challenging, especially if you don't know them that well. But combining this trust between the actors and the characters to portray their ideas of visual poetry in an extraordinary situation is what Theatre O does best.
Thank you so much for enlightening all of us about Theatre O today, Shreyans. Just one last question. Why is it called Theatre O?
Well, O can be thought of as an exclamation, expressing surprise, admiration, joy, longing, and so many emotions. And since our theater focuses on these emotions, we thought it to be the perfect name. Let me demonstrate. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
That's it, fellas. Thank you so much, Shreyans. See y'all.